Your theme today is very appropriate, understanding copyright and valuing the rights of creators of music. And it's something that the Broadcasting Commission has worked very closely with JACAP on because we understand the importance of valuing these rights. Our perspective, however, is to hone in on an issue that has plagued the music industry from time immemorial, and that is the issue of payola. It's a touchy topic, and it's interesting. About a year or so ago, we were in St. Thomas. What you see on your screens here is the Duckenfield Sugar Estate in Golden Grove in St. Thomas. The Broadcasting Commission regularly goes out and does what we call school outreaches, where we educate youngsters at the primary and high school level about the importance of the digital future that's coming. We also touch on the topic of payola because we recognize that because of the technology and because of their natural affinity for music, a lot of young people, even at that level, are involved in music. And so in the cane fields in St. Thomas, at St. Thomas Technical High School, we met a young man called Winston. Now, Winston is the kind of guy, you have him in youth groups, churches, high schools all across Jamaica. You know, the techie type. If you want a PA system pulled apart or put together, you want to build a sound system from scratch, this is the kind of guy that you go to. Still a youngster, very, very skilled, very talented. So after our presentation, Winston comes up to us and he tells us that not only is he a skilled techie guy, he helped us to put our PA system together, but he's also a talented songwriter, and he's also actually recorded a few songs. He approached some radio stations in Kingston who, a couple disc jockeys told him, yeah, you know, your sound is really, really good, but to get play on air, you have to give us 50,000 or so, and that will guarantee you play for a week on air. Now, Winston is a high school student with just enough money saved to rent the studio time and to record his song. He didn't have any more money. Certainly didn't have access to $50,000 to pay for a week of play. And we think that we've met so many of these youngsters as we've gone across the island that we think that it's very important for us to deal with this issue of payola or pay for play. And I just want to share with you a short clip, or not. I don't know, sound guys, are you okay? Oh, okay, all right. Well, in that clip, we interviewed some artists at Reggae Sumfest and got their views on payola. And what we found as we've talked to artists across the island is that the reactions tend to range from absolute denial to ambivalence to outrage. You know, some people say, well, they must eat our food, you know, kind of thing. So the Broadcasting Commission, in working with organizations like JARIA and JACAP, we found out that from studies done by JARIA, for example, that influential DJs at no less than 4 of the 5 leading national radio stations consistently engage in the practice of payola. We understand that according to research, that up to 90% of artists on industry charts are there as a result of payola. This is an unfortunate situation. But why do we view payola as a problem, and why do we support organizations like JACAP who are working to support our industry in Jamaica? Because we believe that payola contributes to a decrease in the variety of music, a decrease in the quality of music, interferes in the operations of the market, and does damage to the international reputation of Jamaican music. We understand that there are booking agencies overseas who are just not interested in booking some of our artists simply because they believe that our charts are skewed. They're not an accurate representation of what's happening in the market, so it's damaging our reputation internationally. But why is the Broadcasting Commission concerned about payola? Well, we believe that payola has contributed in a great measure to some of the unfortunate content that gets out, that escapes sometimes on air, simply because we know that persons are financing those kinds of music coming out on air. And so what are we doing about it? Well, we're participating in forums like these. We want to educate the public about payola as a scourge on our music industry. We've hosted seminars. We do the schools outreach program, which I told you about. And I just want to take the opportunity now. Sound guys, are we okay? Yeah. I just want to take the opportunity to share with you, for the first time, this is our international debut of a new commercial that the Broadcasting Commission will be running very shortly.
I don't like them things there, you know.
Go yourself, man. We have it locked. Well, I'm bossy. I'm exclusive here, you know.
Yeah? What?
The new tune from Atta Air, the thing slapper now.
Alright. If it word play, it will get played.
Alright, bossy.
Voila. What is?
You don't know. I'm spice up the thing.
Yo, me and one of them will take money if play music. When me play music, me play fear. Yo, take this back, Reggie. And next time, give your music to the station library.
No to payola. A message from the Broadcasting Commission, your partner for a new day.
We're also working with amendments that are before the government to the legislation governing the electronic media sector. So payola, as you've heard, I'm sure, is to become a criminal offense, with parties liable for criminal prosecution, imprisonment, and fines. And we're not talking about joke fines. We're talking about $5 million for the first offense, $10 million for the second offense, and $15 million for the third offense. We are also mindful that payola is a two-sided bargain. But we also are aware that there are some stations who, from time to time, maybe not at the highest management levels, but at lower levels, turn a blind eye to payola because they believe that their on-air talent can be compensated in some other way than being formally paid by the stations. And so, under the legislation that's coming, stations who are found to accommodate or turn a blind eye to facilitate payola will also be liable to the same fines that you see on your screens. There are other amendments, requirements of disclosure of interested parties. If you are an on-air personality and you happen to be a music producer, you need to make that disclosure so that there can be clarity and transparency in terms of what you play. We'll also be dealing with issues such as the mandatory playlists, so that playlists are approved prior to going to air, so you don't have disc jockeys walking into studios with CDs or DVDs or MP3 players from all over the place and putting them on air, and there's no sort of transparency about how that music got to air in the first place. We'll also be mandating the management of music through station libraries. We recognize that over time, station libraries have gone the way of the traditional letter, but we recognize the importance of having that management control in place, so the music should go through the libraries. And we're also dealing through that legislation with the treatment of music charts. It should be transparent how these songs end up in top 10s. So, we at the Broadcasting Commission, again, want to commend JACAP. We want Jamaicans to understand that we need to stop paying the piper because we recognize that he who pays the piper calls the tune. And we know, we've seen the damage that that has done to our music. Before I close, I just also want to let you know that the government we've also made recommendations to the government about general copyright infringement, to be making it also a finable offense, up to $1 million for each breach of copyright and intellectual property use. And with that, I'd like to thank you very much for this opportunity to present to you today and to wish JACAP and the organizers all the best. And we want more forums like this. We want more opportunities for the public to understand that the intellectual capital we have here is Jamaica's oil. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Salmon.